You muted, Jim? Or am I muted? I think they paused for a second there. Hey, John.
Oh.
How's it going?
Well, I do believe it's going all right. So what was your early life like before bands and all that, before you were a musician, before, that really took off?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Langdon, North Dakota, which is like just a few miles south of the Canadian border. And small town, 2,000-3,000 people maybe. And yeah, I mean, I grew up with, my dad was a banker, and my mom had a few different jobs. And it was me and my sister and them. And yeah, I mean, early life was kind of like that, rose tinted, like 90s kid vibe, like lots of G.I. Joes and Ninja Turtles and He-Man and Nintendo, that kind of stuff.
What's it like to play the Nintendo Entertainment System? The Nintendo Entertainment System. Now you're playing with power.
But yeah, after sometime around middle school, my parents separated and my dad moved out. And so yeah, that's when I kind of started getting into like music, and it was sort of like I had a little bit more freedom to explore who I was. That's when like the baggy jeans and the chain wallet and the dyed hair and many like thick metal beaded necklaces from like Hot Topic started to show up. I played some sports and things like that for a while, but when I got into like playing music in like a band, I found like it gave me like a different angle to like have a voice and like have people like respect me or think that I was interesting or that I had something to offer, and just like it was kind of a different avenue for me to take. So it was a good confidence booster for me in a very awkward time period of growing up,
It feels like you're gonna live forever. Come back to this place on earth. You never had the chance to breathe. It's over. It's over. And it's me. I wish you were still by my side.
Yeah, how I got into bands was, I don't know about it being the opposite, but our father being like a regional celebrity and him being known so much, it was like the family business.
Pop, 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 party, pop, 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 party, pop, pop. All around the cobbler's bench, monkey chased the weasel. Monkey thought was all in fun. Pop goes the weasel. We've no time to sit and cry. Old man Weasel's gone bye-bye. Look around, out there he goes. Pop goes the weasel.
And so it was just kind of like, okay, what instrument are you going to play? That was really the question. It wasn't, are you going to? It's which one are you going to?
she had to interrupt my subtle agony, my quiet misanthropy. And she said, maybe we could talk, cause I'd really like to tell you everything I know, like it could make me whole. So I politely stood, gave her a little nod, and then I walked away. These are my yesterdays.
And it still happens to this day. People will be like, are you David Berdahl's son? Are you Davey B's son? And it's like, yes. And it's like, well, that explains everything.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's totally different. Like, I come from like a long line of like Ukrainian like potato farmers. And they're all like from Russia and Ukraine, like just like they've seen some stuff. And they came over and it was like, we farm and we got to make sure we make enough money. And like, so like my dad would have been like the first generation, my dad and his brothers, to like not be farmers, to, you know, go on to, you know, go to college and do things like that. You know, when I was in high school, he never really understood what I was doing, like the loud music thing. And like, even when I went to college and was trying to like record stuff at that level, like I remember I tried to play him a recording of something I had written and recorded. We were sitting in like his vehicle in Langdon. I was home for some reason, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I recorded and wrote this song," you know. And I think it played for like 20 seconds, and like he was so uncomfortable. I remember him just being like, "I don't know what I don't understand what you're saying." And I'm just like,
oh no,
because like he's just like, we're so different in that way. Like, I went to school for music industry, but like, I never thought I would graduate with that degree. Like I was very much like, I'm going to get in, I'm going to meet some cool musicians, try to make some connections, we'll record some music, we'll go on tour, we'll make it, whatever. And like, then we'll be buying hot tubs and doing whatever like famous musicians do. And I was kind of following that trail from high school where I was like, I'm going to prove people wrong about like, if or if not, I can do this, you know? And I had this kind of like this grudge almost of like, you can come from a small town and you can be a rock musician and you can like make a career out of it. And, you know, it's almost like you're waiting to almost have that, like I told you, moment to someone. I'm not sure if it's to like my dad or to like bullies from high school or what it is, you know, but it's sort of like that.
It keeps coming up for me, like again and again, like individuals needing to talk to me about how, like ADHD is so different from autism, you know, and so it's like, and I'm not saying you did that. It's not like, oh, I need to tell you this. No, like you just talked about it because it's a good idea as far as I know.
Yeah.
But you talking about it, that's going to help so many people, you know?
Right. And just like educating people on like, ADHD isn't always like super recognizable. Like, especially like in adults, like it's not always just like that kid in the classroom that can't sit still. It's like having outbursts all the time. Like a lot of times it's deep internal like battle, like psychologically that like people go through for like their entire life and they don't even know they have it. Or like they find out they have it and it's like, oh my God, yes, that makes so much sense. And just like finding out is like half of the relief. Just knowing it's something like you could put a name to it, you know? And yeah, it's just like everyone isn't a little ADHD, you know, like that's not a thing. Like, and it's one of those things that people like always say, just like it belittles people who are, you know. And it's just like there's certain things like that where, and if you're even questioning, like I honestly like to myself kind of joked about like I think I might have ADHD. Like it was like started as sort of a joke, but over the course of several years, I'm just like, I really think I might have ADHD. Like, because the more I researched it, I'm like, this actually does sound like me. And yeah, so if you're even remotely thinking you might have it, even if you're an undiagnosed adult, like consider just like looking into it because it might answer some questions for you. Just remember the acronym ABBA, not like the disco band, but always be activating.
Oh, sure.
Because that's what it is. It's just like you get like these sparks of ideas, and if you don't pursue them, they just like stay stuck in your head, and like you might not even know they're there, or they might disappear entirely. But like you get all this stuff in your brain You're just like, I don't know if I should do that, or I don't know if I should pursue that, or like whatever. But I'm just like, to me, it's just like, if it's not something that's going to hurt anybody or like be detrimental to yourself, like if some idea pops in your mind, like take whatever that initial step is to activate that thing, you know, even if it only doesn't go anywhere, like even if the next thing is just to watch a YouTube video about how to be Loom, and you're just like, I don't really want to do this, I guess, you know, but you at least took a little step down that path that could have led to like a long trail, like leading on to something that would be really fun and, you know, inspiring to you, you know. But a lot of people, like, again, I don't mean to keep bringing up ADHD, but like with ADHD brains, a lot of ideas that don't go together hit each other a lot. And that's part of why I think a lot of ADHD people might have been a creative profession, because they might be thinking of like two things that don't go together at all, and they smash together. You're like, oh, this is a really great commercial idea. And a lot of like people who aren't like that will be like, that's a stupid idea. Like those two things don't go together, and they just like let it disappear. But the ADHD brain, like if they smash together, and you can't stop yourself from like spitting it out. Like, so you're just like, hey, what about this? And then people are like, 9 times out of 10, they're like, that's insane, and you're a crazy person, just go away. But like sometimes it's like a really genius idea that wouldn't have come up if all those thoughts weren't like bouncing around in your head and you didn't activate on it, you know?
Yeah.
So thanks for talking.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. See you next time.
Bye-bye.
We will return after these messages.